is 1869. A soft, salty breeze drifts in from the Arabian Sea and moves through the narrow, winding streets of Porbandar, Kathiawar, a modest princely town on the western coast of Gujarat, India. The town is known for its ancient temples, bustling fishing harbor, and whitewashed houses that gleam under the tropical sun. In one such 3-story ancestral home belonging to the Gandhi family, a child is born on October 2nd. The boy is small and frail. He has unusually large ears and a quiet demeanor. No one, not his father Karamchand, the local Diwan, chief minister, nor his deeply pious mother Putlibai, could possibly imagine that this unremarkable infant would one day stand against the greatest empire the world had ever seen and win. His name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. This is not merely the story of a man. This is the story of how an ordinary, fearful, imperfect human being transformed himself, and through that transformation, changed the course of history. Mohandas grew up in a traditional middle-class Hindu household that strictly followed Vaishnavism. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was an honest but hot-tempered administrator who served several small princely states. He was known for his integrity and practical wisdom, but the family was never rich. His mother, Putlibai, was the strongest spiritual influence on young Mohandas. She was deeply religious, often undertaking long and difficult fasts, and would visit the temple daily. From her, the boy learned the power of self-discipline, truthfulness, and compassion. Stories of saints and the principle of ahimsa, absolute nonviolence, were woven into his early consciousness. Yet, young Mohandas was far from saintly. He was painfully shy, ordinary in school, and terrified of many things: darkness, ghosts, snakes, and even other boys who teased him. He was also stubborn and curious. At one point, influenced by a friend, he experimented with smoking and even stole a small amount of gold from his brother to fund the habit. The guilt tormented him. When he finally confessed to his father, the old man wept silently instead of punishing him. That moment of forgiveness left a permanent scar on Mohandas' soul about the power of truth. At the age of just 13, following traditional customs of the time, Mohandas was married to Kasturba Mukherjee, a girl of the same age. The early marriage was difficult. Mohandas was jealous and possessive. He tried to control Kasturba and struggled with his own desires. These youthful conflicts would later shape his views on celibacy and self-control. In 1888, at age 18, a major turning point arrived. Gandhi's family wanted him to become a lawyer to improve their fortunes. Despite strong opposition from his caste, who believed crossing the ocean was sinful, he sailed alone to London to study law at the Inner Temple. London was a shock. He arrived wearing traditional Gujarati clothes, but soon tried desperately to become an English gentleman. He bought expensive suits, took violin and dance lessons, and even tried to learn French. But he felt fake and out of place. Eventually, he abandoned the pursuit of Western sophistication. He embraced vegetarianism not just by religion, but by conviction after reading books on the subject. He joined the Vegetarian Society and began to explore different philosophies. In 1891, he was called to the bar and returned to India. However, his legal career in Bombay started poorly. He was extremely shy in court and lost his first major case due to stage fright. He was on the verge of giving up when a lucrative opportunity came from South Africa. In 1893, Gandhi boarded a ship to Durban, South Africa, expecting to stay for just 1 year as a legal advisor for a Gujarati Muslim merchant firm. What happened instead would change him and the world forever. One cold winter night in 1893, Gandhi, dressed in a proper suit and holding a first-class ticket, was traveling by train. At Pietermaritzburg station, a white passenger complained about sharing the compartment with an Indian. The conductor ordered Gandhi to move to the third-class van. Gandhi calmly refused. He had a valid ticket. He believed in his rights as a British subject. He was physically thrown off the train. His luggage was tossed out. He spent the entire freezing night on the platform, shivering, thinking deeply. That single night became the turning point of his life. Instead of returning to India humiliated, Gandhi decided to stay in South Africa and fight racial injustice. Over the next 21 years, he faced mob attacks, beatings, arrests, and imprisonment. He founded the Natal Indian Congress. He developed and refined Satyagraha, a method of nonviolent resistance based on truth and moral courage. He gave up his Western clothes, simplified his life dramatically, and began living with strict discipline. Kasturba, who joined him later, also transformed alongside him. By 1914, when Gandhi finally left South Africa, he had become a nationally known figure in India and a respected leader among Indians worldwide. This is only the foundation of the story. You have now witnessed Gandhi's childhood, his early struggles, his transformative years in London, and the birth of his philosophy in South Africa. If this story has already gripped you, the journey of a timid, imperfect boy becoming one of history's greatest moral forces, then hit that like button right now and subscribe. With your invaluable help, we intend to grow this community of story lovers to 1,000 members this month. Also, turn on notifications, because what comes next is even more powerful. Gandhi's return to India, his rise as the leader of millions, the Salt March that shook an empire, the Quit India movement, the tragedy of partition, and his final sacrifice. The real battle for India's soul is about to begin. It is January 9th, 1915. A passenger ship slowly docks at the historic port of Bombay. The Arabian Sea is calm, but the city is alive with noise. Vendors shouting, steam whistles blowing, and the constant movement of people. Among the passengers stepping onto Indian soil after 21 long years abroad is a thin, 45-year-old man dressed in a simple white dhoti and shawl. He wears round spectacles, carries a walking stick, and has a calm but determined look in his eyes. This is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, returning home. Very few people notice him. The Indian National Congress leaders are busy with their own politics. The British authorities barely register his arrival. The ordinary people of India have not yet heard his name. But this quiet, unassuming man is about to ignite a revolution unlike anything the world has ever seen. Gandhi did not rush into the national spotlight. Instead, he spent the first year traveling across India in third-class railway compartments, deliberately experiencing the real suffering of his countrymen. He saw the crushing poverty in villages, the arrogance of British officials, the deep caste divisions, and the helplessness of ordinary Indians under colonial rule. He settled at the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad, a simple community where he began practicing the strict discipline he had developed in South Africa: manual labor, spinning khadi, hand-woven cloth, vegetarianism, and celibacy. His first major opportunity to test Satyagraha in India came in 1917 in the remote indigo growing district of Champaran, Bihar. The British planters there had forced poor tenant farmers to grow indigo on a portion of their land and sell it to them at ridiculously low prices. It was legalized extortion. When local leaders invited Gandhi, the British immediately ordered him to leave the district. Gandhi refused. He told the authorities he would rather go to jail than obey an unjust law. Thousands of peasants began walking for miles to give their testimonies. The British were stunned by this new weapon: calm, disciplined, fearless, non-violent resistance. The government eventually backed down. They formed a committee and included Gandhi. The exploitative Tinkatia system was abolished. Champaran was Gandhi's first victory on Indian soil. A year later, in 1918, he led another successful Satyagraha in Kheda, Gujarat, where farmers devastated by famine and plague were still being forced to pay full taxes. Again, the British relented. The quiet man from Porbandar was rapidly becoming a national force. Then came 1919 and horror. After World War I, the British passed the Rowlatt Act, allowing them to arrest and detain Indians without trial. It was a direct attack on basic freedoms. Gandhi responded by calling for a nationwide hartal, a complete strike, on April 6, 1919. India came to a standstill. Shops closed, trains stopped running, millions prayed and fasted in protest. But in the holy city of Amritsar, Punjab, the protest turned into tragedy. On April 13, 1919, thousands of unarmed men, women, and children gathered peacefully at Jallianwala Bagh, a large enclosed garden, to celebrate Baisakhi and protest the arrests of local leaders. The garden had only one narrow exit. British Brigadier General Reginald Dyer surrounded the garden with troops and, without warning, ordered them to open fire.
Stop right there! Get back!
They fired for 10 full minutes. When their ammunition ran out, they left. Official records say 379 people died. The actual number was likely over 1,000. Many more were injured. Dyer's troops even targeted those trying to climb the walls to escape. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre shattered Gandhi's remaining faith in British justice. He called it a crime against humanity.
Together, we shall build a nation where justice and equality reign supreme.
In 1920, Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement, one of the largest mass movements in history. He urged Indians to boycott British goods, withdraw from government schools and courts, resign from government jobs, and refuse to pay taxes. The response was overwhelming. Millions joined. For the first time, ordinary Indians felt real power in their hands. The movement shook the British administration to its core. But in February 1922, violence erupted in Chowri Chowra, Uttar Pradesh. A mob set fire to a police station, killing 22 policemen. Deeply disturbed that violence had occurred in the name of his non-violent movement, Gandhi immediately called off the entire campaign, even though it was at its peak. Many Congress leaders were furious with him, but Gandhi refused to compromise on the principle of ahimsa. He was arrested shortly afterward and sentenced to 6 years in prison for sedition. Released early due to health issues, Gandhi planned his most brilliant act yet. On March 12, 1930, at the age of 61, he began the Dandi March. Starting from his Sabarmati ashram with just 78 followers, he walked 240 miles, 386 kilometers, to the Arabian Sea. His intention was simple but revolutionary: to make salt from seawater and break the British monopoly on salt, a tax that hurt the poorest Indians the most. For 24 days, the entire world watched as this frail man in a dhoti walked across the Indian countryside. Millions joined along the way. On April 6th, at Dandi, Gandhi picked up a handful of natural salt from the beach and declared, "With this, I am shaking the foundations of the British Empire." The Salt March ignited the civil disobedience movement. Across India, people began making salt illegally. Millions were arrested. Prisons overflowed. The movement spread like wildfire. Gandhi had turned a basic necessity into a symbol of resistance. It is August 8, 1942. The humid air in Bombay is thick with tension. Thousands have packed into the Gawalia Tank Maidan, a large open ground in the heart of the city. The atmosphere is electric. Leaders of the Indian National Congress have gathered. The British Empire is fighting for its survival in World War II, but India is boiling with rage. On the stage stands the now 72-year-old Mahatma Gandhi. His body is frail, but his voice carries the moral authority of decades of struggle. He looks out over the massive crowd and delivers one of the most powerful speeches in Indian history. He raises his hand and gives the historic call. "Quit India!" He tells the British to leave India immediately. To his own people, he gives a simple but explosive mantra. "Do or die." Within hours, Gandhi and almost the entire Congress leadership are arrested. But the call has already been released into the veins of the nation. The Quit India movement explodes. Across the country, from the villages of Bengal to the streets of Madras, from the factories of Bombay to the fields of Punjab, ordinary Indians rise up in a spontaneous, massive wave of civil disobedience. Students leave schools, workers strike, trains are stopped, government buildings are attacked, underground radio stations broadcast messages of freedom. The British respond with brutal force, mass arrests, shootings, and collective punishments. For months, India is in flames. This is no longer a polite negotiation. This is a direct, all-out rebellion against British rule. Gandhi, imprisoned in the Aga Khan Palace in Pune along with Kasturba, can only hear distant reports of the upheaval. Kasturba's health declines rapidly in prison. On February 22, 1944, she dies in Gandhi's arms. The man who had led millions sheds quiet tears. Yet even in grief, he remains committed to nonviolence. By the end of World War II in 1945, Britain is exhausted, financially ruined, militarily stretched, and politically weakened. The Indian people have made it crystal clear they will no longer accept foreign rule. Negotiations begin in earnest. Gandhi meets with British officials, including the last viceroy, Lord Mountbatten. But a dark shadow looms over the dream of freedom, the demand for a separate Muslim homeland called Pakistan, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the Muslim League. Gandhi is heartbroken. He has spent his life preaching Hindu-Muslim unity. He fasts, prays, and walks through riot-torn areas trying to stop the growing violence between communities. But the forces of division prove too strong. On August 15, 1947, India finally gains independence. Jawaharlal Nehru becomes the first prime minister and delivers his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. At midnight, as the world watches, the British Union Jack is lowered and the Indian tricolor rises. But freedom comes soaked in blood. The partition of India creates Pakistan. Millions are displaced in one of the largest migrations in human history. Communal riots explode across Punjab, Bengal, and Delhi. Entire villages are massacred. Trains arrive full of corpses. The streets run red with the blood of neighbors who once lived peacefully together. Gandhi is devastated. He refuses to attend the official independence celebrations in Delhi. Instead, he is in Calcutta, fasting and walking through riot-affected areas, trying to restore sanity. He says, "I am willing to die, but I will not let India die." By January 1948, Gandhi is back in Delhi, staying at Birla House. He continues fasting to bring peace between Hindus and Muslims. His health is failing. He is 78 years old. exhausted, and deeply saddened by the violence that followed independence. On January 30, 1948, in the evening, Gandhi walks to his daily prayer meeting in the garden of Birla House, supported by his grandnieces. A crowd has gathered to see him. A young man named Nathuram Godse, a Hindu extremist who blamed Gandhi for the partition and for being too soft on Muslims, approaches. He bows, then fires 3 shots at point-blank range. Gandhi clutches his chest, utters the words, "Hey Ram, O God," and falls. He dies within minutes. The news spreads like wildfire across India and the world. Millions are stunned into grief. Nehru addresses the nation. "The light has gone out of our lives, and there is darkness everywhere." Gandhi's funeral procession is one of the largest in history. His body is cremated on the banks of the Yamuna River. His ashes are scattered in the rivers and seas he loved. From a fearful boy in Porbandar who was afraid of the dark, to the man who stood unarmed against the British Empire and won. From the railway platform in South Africa where he was thrown off a train, to the prayer grounds in Delhi where he was shot for preaching love. This was the life of Mahatma Gandhi. He never held any official position. He never commanded an army. He never sought power or wealth. Yet he moved the conscience of humanity more powerfully than almost any other person in the 20th century. His weapons were simple: truth, nonviolence, and moral courage. And with those weapons, he helped free a nation of over 300 million people and inspired civil rights movements across the world, from Martin Luther King Jr. in America to Nelson Mandela in South Africa. The story of Mahatma Gandhi is not just the story of India's independence. It is the story of what one imperfect human being can achieve when he aligns his life completely with truth and nonviolence. What do you think? Was Gandhi too idealistic in a violent world? Or is his message of nonviolence even more relevant today? Drop your thoughts in the comments.